taught environmental education in the past. That was a job that I forgot to put on here. But I worked at a nature center teaching environmental education in Colorado in the Rocky Mountains. And that was my first time teaching. And so I've taught before, but always outside. So teaching inside in a classroom feels wrong. And talking to a group of students, but not having a conversation is different than normal for me. Because normally I planned activities and we would go on a hike and watch birds or learn about natural systems. So this is a much less tactile job than my other teaching job. But I like our school, and I feel really lucky to be here, so that's cool. And that's most of the paid work that I've done, but there's also unpaid work. Can you imagine working for free? No? Well, maybe one day you will. There are a lot of reasons why you might want to do unpaid work. And the main one is if you want to go to university and if you want to have a more professional job, having volunteering experience is very, very helpful to put on your resume. And if you can say, I've done these things already, but I was unpaid, an employer who sees your application is going to be like, wow, they have initiative. They want to do things. They're not just kind of flying by. They're really trying hard and doing their best. So I recommend volunteering. So that's the first reason why you might do unpaid work. But also, you might do unpaid work because you're really passionate about something. And so I have two versions of that in here that we'll talk about. So first, one of my favorite places that I ever volunteered was Comunidad a Comunidad. And this was in Bellingham, Washington, where I went to university. And I worked with this organization for 3 years. I worked with them alongside my real job, where I was paid. And this is Rosalinda, and she founded C2C. And it was a farm worker co-op. And so actually it's pretty cool because you know how here in Almeria we have the invernaderos and a lot of farm work. The same is true in Bellingham, where I'm from. And in Bellingham, the farmers were often from Mexico and South and Central America. And they would come to the United States to work in the fields and send money back home. And so these people were often exploited in their work. Do you know that word? Exploited? Okay, cool. It's not cool, but you know it, that's good. So that's because oftentimes they were undocumented. And if you're undocumented, it means that you don't have paperwork to work somewhere. You went without a visa. And so it was easy for employers, for the bosses and the farm owners to pay low wages and force people to work more hours than they should and live in communities that were unhealthy and unsafe, and they would take their documents. So imagine, if you go to another country, you don't speak the language, you have your documents that maybe say it's legal